Hey, so we have been working on figurative and literal language. And while we now understand the difference between figurative and literal meaning exactly what the author says, is exactly what he means, right? So we need to come up with a tool for our toolkit when we think of um, figurative language. So when you think a writer may be using a phrase in a figurative way, not a literal way, you need to stop and picture it. You need to get an image in your mind of what each separate word means and then what the word means together. You can take a guess at what the phrase means, keeping in mind what is happening in the rest of the text. So as readers, right, when we read a sentence, we don't ever think of a sentence or a phrase by itself, right? We're always thinking about what's already happened in the text. We're thinking about what just happened and what's also even about to happen. So you as readers, we're going to go ahead and we're going to picture this figurative phrase. First, what we're going to do is we are going to break it apart by word, like what does each word mean? Then we're going to chunk it together by the phrase. And then we're going to think about what's happening in the rest of the text to come up with an idea of what that figurative phrase means. So up here, right here, are some things that you can do as a reader. You can do with a reading partner at home, or even questions that your parents could ask you as you're reading and you come to a figurative phrase. So the first thing is, what do you see? Second thing, tell me what you pictured for just this word. Third thing, tell me what you pictured for this whole phrase. And fourth thing, I can tell you pictured it to see that it can't literally mean that. What do you think the author is trying to say? So let's go ahead and try this with a story that I found on Epic Books. Now, I'm not going to read the whole entire story to you. I'm going to read a couple of pages, and then I'm going to stop at a few of these figurative phrases that I found in the text, and we're going to use this strategy. Later, you're going to do the same strategy that I'm doing with a piece of the text that I'm going to screenshot, and you guys are going to apply this strategy to the pages. All right, so this story is called The Cat's Pajamas. The more Mr. Cat sewed, the more he got the hang of it. On the day of his art show, Vincent was so nervous, he didn't know if he was coming or going. As judge of the tiny talent contest, Leon had to face the music. I can already tell that these are chock full of figurative language phrases. Beryl thought constantly about her big hat collection. She had a real bee in her bonnet. I'm going to read that again. Beryl thought constantly about her big hat collection. She had a real bee in her bonnet. So I'm going to stop. When I picture it, I'm actually picturing this bee in the bonnet. I know from my own background that a bonnet is a hat, okay? So this phrase right here, real bee in her bonnet, is the figurative language. So I'm going to stop, right? And I'm going to talk about each phrase, each word, step by step. So real means that it's true, right? It's not imaginary. A bee is an insect, right? That is usually like buzzing around that you're trying to get away from because they have a stinger and it can really like bother you, right? Like I know when I'm out at a picnic and there is a bee out there that I just am running away. I'm trying to get away from the bee. I do not want it stinging me because that could be really painful. In her bonnet, and I know that bonnet is a hat. So I want to stop. So that was word for word. Now I want to look at the whole phrase, a real bee in her bonnet. So I know that bees can be annoying, right? And when I see a bee outside, I cannot stop thinking about it. I become like almost obsessed about it. And I keep thinking like, oh my goodness, where's the bee? Where's the bee? Where's the bee? Is the bee near me? So I just like overthink about it. I just cannot stop, right? And I know that a bonnet is on my head. So it's almost like I can't stop thinking about something that I become like obsessed over it. So I think that being a bonnet means to that you're obsessed and you can't stop thinking about it. So now I'm going to take that phrase, real bee in her bonnet, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to replace it by what I think it means. So Beryl thought constantly about her big hat collection. She was obsessed with it and could not stop thinking about her hat collection. Does that make sense? To me, as a reader, when I picture that, it completely makes sense. Let's try again with this page. The Clothesline Club loved hanging out together. Their motto was, birds of a feather flock together. All right, so the phrase is birds of a feather flock together. That is our figurative language phrase. So let's go to this step by step, right? So birds are obviously flying animals that are in the sky, right? Of a feather. So feathers are what's on the birds, right? That all birds have feathers, right? Flock means to come together in like a group, and flock means to come together, and together means together, right? Like all as one. So I'm going to look at this whole sentence, and I'm thinking about what I know about clubs, right? Clubs are usually people that like hanging out together, that have a common interest. So at Lindenau, right, we used to have like the sports club. We have like the Tiger Zen Club, right? Those are people that have a common interest that come together. So knowing what I know about clubs and about people coming together as a club, right? And thinking about this phrase about the birds of feather flock together, I'm thinking that mean that it's people that have the same interest. So let me take that phrase out and let me add it in. So the Clothesline Club love hanging out together. Their motto was, we have the same interest. Does that make sense? Totally. So now you're going to apply it with this page. It says, no matter where he went, Inspector Reinhold always thought something smelled fishy. So let's go over what you're going to do with this page. You're going to figure out what you see, then you're going to tell what you picture for just each word in that phrase. So you're going to tell me what you picture for the whole phrase, and then you're going to tell us about how you picture it to not literally mean that, and what you think the author is trying to say. Have fun applying this strategy. This is a great tool for your toolbox.